I'm Sibgha. I've just finished sixth form. Really, it's been cut short because of COVID-19. I was studying history, English literature, and drama for my A levels, and now I hope to go on to study law in September at the University of Manchester.
So I'm Stephanie Boyce. As Sarah said, I'm the Deputy Vice President of the Law Society of England and Wales, a position I've held since July 2019. Traditionally, this role is a part-time role. However, it's a remarkable achievement, and I'm dedicating my time full-time to the role. And just to put it into context, I will become in 2021 the sixth female president and the first ethnic minority president.
I want to ask you to begin with, how do you begin your day? So that might include your routine. How do you go about it?
I begin my day with a positive attitude, a positive commitment to enjoy the sunshine. And we are experiencing some glorious weather, certainly where I am at the moment. But, you know, our lives have changed. In a blink of an eye, our lives changed with the current crisis pandemic we're in. What we know and do today is different than what we did yesterday, is different than what we did, it's certainly what I did in February. And, you know, protecting the strength of our, and strengthening our mental health is so important to cope in, and how we have coped, and how we will go on to build our resilience and recover from this crisis. So it's very important that we exercise our minds as much as we exercise our body. So for me, that is starting with routine. So today I went for, or this morning I went for a walk. I did about a 5-mile walk. I have to confess that I was still working, talking to various people at that time. But before I went for my walk, I get up early and I tune in to a programme that I watch every single day. I get a break on a Sunday, but every single day, Monday to Friday, 7 a.m, 6:30 on a Saturday. And it is a chap who absolutely talks about positivity and positive affirmations. I then move on to my daily briefings, meetings. I've just come out of an office holders meeting, speaking with colleagues, discussing the current legal environment. But for me, it's throughout the whole day, it's taking time to be grateful, grateful for everything that surrounds me, and to fill my day with positive affirmations throughout the day.
That's a really thoughtful way to begin your day, I have to say. It's really nice. Also, so what's your current role and how did you get there? Well, we know that you're the Deputy Vice President, but yeah, what was your journey like?
What was my journey like? Would you believe me if I told you it took me 4 attempts to become the Deputy Vice President of the Law Society? You know, a remarkable achievement, as I said, in its 195-year history, that I will become the first ethnic minority president in 2021. So how did I get here? Simply put, I didn't think that I couldn't. So 4 times it took me. And Sibgha, I would have kept going and going, a 5th, a 6th, a 7th, because such was the belief and determination and the resilience that I had within me. And I've often heard students say to me, and individuals, people say to me, that I would have given up after the first attempt. But, you know, for me, the lessons were important, not only in how did I get knocked down, but in how did I rise after the fall. So for every defeat, if you like, if we call it that, I picked myself up, brushed myself off, took the lessons learned, refined my offering, and 4 attempts later, this is how I became a Deputy Vice President. So I joined council in 2013, and my constituency is the Women Lawyers Division. I could see at that time that the dynamics on council was changing. The legal profession was changing. And I felt that I had a real contribution to make. And so for the first time, put myself forward as a DVP candidate in 2015. And as I say, through sheer determination, resilience, and refining my offering, I am the Deputy Vice President.
I can't imagine actually how it must have felt to be defeated so many times. I can't imagine 4 times. That's incredible.
But I guess.
Question. Sorry.
Sorry. No, all I was going to say is it's important to recognise and acknowledge those defeats and how one feels after you've been defeated. And just behind me in the hallway, there's a radiator there, and a little I don't know what you call it, but there's a radiator there and a place where you can sit. That place was the times that I sat there, rolled up in a ball, crunched up, where I cried, and I let it all out. And when I let it all out and I cried and I finished, as I say, I picked myself up and was absolutely determined that I was just as good, just as qualified, just as experienced, and I was going to make a difference. And I hope, my fervent hope, is that I'm making a difference.
You will. You already probably are. So my third question is there anything you would have done differently at the start of your career?
For me, I wouldn't do anything differently, because to do something differently implies that something I did is wrong to start with. For me, I'm very clear that every twist, every obstacle has got me to where I am today and contributed to the person I am and seeking to become. What I would say to every aspiring solicitor is, if you think you can't, you absolutely can. And do not underplay or undersell yourself and not apply or put yourself forward. You have to keep pushing. And that exactly is exactly what I did. I pushed and I pushed and I kept pushing. So for me, I persevered until something happened. Push.
I do like this advice very much. What gets you back on your feet when you've been knocked down?
What gets me back on my feet when I get knocked down? I was sent the following recently. I don't know who wrote it, but if I share it. And it said, never get disappointed when things happen beyond your expectation. Remember that the greatest glory in life is rising when you fall. I just absolutely love that. You rise when you fall. And I have long said, and as I said earlier, the lesson was not in how many times I got knocked back. The lesson was in how many times, how did I get up? How did I pick myself up time and time again when I was told I wouldn't make it? You know, never in our lifetime, and so forth. I mean, never in our lifetime did I think that I would be, that I would sit in my house for months, on end, that I wouldn't be able to hug my loved ones for fear of, contracting a virus, that I would go out on the street and have to, walk around my fellow human beings, rather than be able to shake their hand or hug them or kiss them. Life has a habit of throwing things at us, but nothing comes to us before its time. And I'm a subscriber to the law of attraction. I absolutely believe in positivity, and I love smiling. I love your smile and your energy. I can feel it coming through the screen at me. But that's absolutely what it's about. It's about having a positive attitude, even in the face of adversity, and even when you don't feel like smiling, you continue to smile.
I love the wise words, and the law of attraction, definitely agree with it, and I do believe it. Final question before I give you something you might not expect. What advice would you give to someone who's at the start of their legal career?
The advice I would give is never give up. As I said, it took me 4 attempts to become Deputy Vice President. And as I say, it was the lessons that I learned that inspired me to keep moving forward, to grow, to improve, and so forth. So my advice is, don't be afraid of rejection, as it will provide you with an opportunity to try again and be clear about what you want and what your objectives are. Make the most of support that's available. mentoring, sponsorship, and networking opportunities will be invaluable resources as you start to build your career. Because as my mother says, if you don't ask, you don't get. So don't be afraid to ask for help or what you want. Get involved, make the most of opportunities, and if you can't find an opportunity, then make them. I know it's difficult at the moment because obviously we have been locked down. Those restrictions are easing. Gatherings, networking opportunities perhaps are not there as much as they were before. However, where you see an opportunity, a networking opportunity, a chance to converse with a colleague, to put yourself forward, then absolutely do so. And ultimately, just go for it. Pursue your goals in the knowledge that your own unique experience and skills make you a valuable asset. You know, as I've long said, the legal profession is a remarkable profession, but it must reflect the diversity of the society we seek to serve, bringing a mixture of perspectives and experience to this remarkable profession. And for many people from disadvantaged backgrounds, you know, entering the legal profession can be difficult, if not almost impossible. Because, for instance, we don't have the contacts. You know, we don't have the ability to tap into those pre-existing networks where normally mentors, sponsors may be drawn from, or where work experience can be assessed. So the fear is that the impact of COVID-19 will impact on some of those inequalities further. You know, but and the hope or the fear initially was that some of the work around diversity and equality would have been suspended due to COVID-19, but of course a lot has happened since then, with the death of George Floyd and of course the Black Lives Matter movement. The Law Society is deeply committed to increasing diversity and inclusion in our profession. And as I say, a remarkable profession that should attract the best and the brightest, but not only attract, but to retain and to promote. There are a number of initiatives that we will be coming out with shortly, and we'll hope to share publicly shortly to embed that commitment. But it is my intention to leave this profession more diverse and inclusive than the one I entered. But Sibgha, I say this must be a shared ambition amongst each and every one of us to achieve that aim.
Sure, yes, I agree. My final question. So I kind of thought about this quite a bit, and I thought, okay, so I know quite a bit about sort of your past and how you've got to where you are or what you're kind of doing now. So how would you feel if I asked you about the future? Where do you see yourself in kind of 10 years' time?
Ooh. Where do I see myself in 10 years' time? I absolutely believe in speaking out loud, speaking to your future. And where do I see myself? I see myself, where do I see myself that I'm willing to share? I see myself in the House of Lords. My grandfather, who is no longer with us, he, where a lot of my motivation values stem from, he talked about if he had had the education that he deserved, he would have been in the Houses of Parliament. It's been a long ambition of mine to get there, to fulfil his ambition that has become my ambition. But, you know, wherever I am, whether that's in the House of Lords or somewhere else, my ambition is to keep serving. You know, I undertook this role, as I say, because I believe that I had something to offer. And, you know, before I became DVP, I said, if I could just touch one person's life, inspire someone to do something different, then I would go quietly. But, you know, what a privileged position to be where I am. And the ability to inspire people, to have people come to me and to ask me to share my experiences. But like I say, this world is a beautiful place. There is room for us all, but we must do so in a truly collaborative and respectful way. And so wherever I am, as I say, I hope to be continuing to serve, to inspire, and to take people with me.
Well, you've definitely inspired me today. I thought about something else as well to ask you, and I thought you're also doing quite a lot of work about making the legal profession more inclusive to women and people from ethnic minorities. So do you feel like you faced any challenges as a woman of colour? I don't know, what do you think?
Absolutely. And I spoke about this before when I was asked the question, what obstacles, challenges have you faced as a woman? And I spoke about it's very difficult for me to speak about the challenges, obstacles faced as a woman without speaking about them as a black woman, a woman of colour. And as I say, it's those, and I appreciate that everybody's lived experience is different. And we've all, those of us with protected characteristics, with vulnerabilities, have faced obstacles, have faced challenges. But we all want the same thing, and that is equality of opportunity, to be recognised for the individuals we are, and to bring our skills and experience to bear. And it is absolutely right that we start to have this broader discussion around how we make this profession, this remarkable profession, that we want to be part of, that I want to serve and serve in, that how we make it reflective, so that I no longer will go and hear people say, my teacher or my mother or whoever told me that the legal profession is only for the elite. It's a profession for everyone, and we must absolutely work on making this profession more welcoming, regardless of, as I say, your background, your wealth. It is a profession that is open and welcomes everyone.
I love all of your advice, and it's been great being able to ask you questions, and it's been such an honour.
Well, thank you for asking me those questions and allowing me to share my voice.
Do you have any questions for me by any chance?
Well, Sibgha, as I said, I love your energy, and I can feel it here, the radiancy of it. And what I would say to you is continue doing whatever you're doing. Don't allow anybody, because for me, there will be plenty of people, and there have been plenty of people who've given me advice, but it's not every piece of advice that people give you that you will take. So it's knowing what bits to take and what bits to leave well alone. But as I said, I had a dream in my heart, and I was going to keep going. And the more people told me, go home and rest, you're embarrassing yourself, Stephanie, and all that other stuff, I was determined to keep going. So keep going and keep smiling.